Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Strong and Bold. My name is Fortina, and today I'm going to talk about a fall from grace. How many of us has fallen due to our own doing? How many of us trusted the wrong people to catch us when we fall? And how many of us live in the falling state of our lives, of our nature? We all know that falling is not like a sleep. A sleep you're able to get up by yourself, but a fall is you fall completely, your body touches the ground. And sometimes you are on that ground for a very, 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 very long time. I myself am experiencing a falling season in my life. And I'll tell you, to be honest, it's not fun. It's not a happy place. It's not a good place. It is a hard and difficult place to be in. Today I'm going to read from the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 4, verse 4. Jonathan, son of Saul, had a son whose feet were crippled. He was 5 years old when the news came from Jezreel about the death of Saul and Jonathan. His nurse took him up and fled so hastily that the boy fell and became lame. He was called Meribah. How many of us have fallen due to our own disobedience? How many of us have fallen due to not having enough information? And how many of us were born and raised in that falling state? How many of us were told, don't go here, don't do this, and yet we did. And we ended up falling. In my line of work, I work where rapture has happened. Rapture has happened in your internal state. Rapture has happened in your external state. So rapture is like breaking. A rapture has happened, like a breaking has happened. It's like a bond that has broken. It can be a rupture in family state. It can be rupture in your personal state. It can be rupture at work. It can be rupture of any type of ruptures. That's my field of work. So I see so many people who are broken. I have experienced brokenness myself. But how do we deal with these ruptures? With this fallen state of ourselves? Do we fall and we continue being down? Or do we try to lift ourselves up? As I said, somebody can sleep and they're easy to get up and continue walking because nothing has happened. But you can be born in a fallen state. The line of our work we do, it's called harm minimization. But how can we do harm minimization when all you have ever known is harm itself? It can be harm of sequences, harm of behaviors, harm of thoughts, harm of your home environment, of your natural environment, of yourself. You're born in that harm. How do we minimize it? And that's the only state you have known, the fallen state. That is all you have known, that whom you have become, and that is what you have associated yourself with. How do we get up from there? Number one, we seek support. We seek God. Number two, we seek a community. You can never survive harm by yourself. Because harm, or that falling state, it is something that is very, very difficult. It is hard to deal with. It is very, very challenging. So we have seen Maribel has fallen. The people who are supposed to nurture him, the people who are supposed to care for him, they have dropped him. Who is that person that was supposed to catch you that they didn't? Was it your father? Was it your mother? Was it your sibling? Was it a relative? Was it your spouse that you depended on emotionally and they were never ever available? You depended on them physically, they were never available. You depended them financially, they never show up for you. Who is that person who dropped you? Who made you fall? Is it your own doing? When our parents say, don't do this, don't go there, don't hang with these people. That one night you went, you end up in jail. You end up being molested, you end up being raped, you end up using drugs. You end up in the wrong relationship that everybody wants you about. You end up losing a loved ones. You end up losing a life because you have a life sentence behind bars. So, in this fallen state of ours, how do you get up again? First is by seeking help, by saying, yes, I am wrong. There's something wrong with me. I am not okay. Acknowledge that. Accept that. And then you find resources. You find ways to move on up again. And second, you need to find a community that believes in you, a community that sees you, a community that wants the best for you. That is the second thing. And the third thing, you need to reconnect with your roots, your inner child. Were you 5 when you had fallen? Were you 15 when you fall from grace? Were you 17? Were you 33? Were you 43? Were you 53? Were you 63 when you fall from grace? Some of us are adults in human bodies. Like we are babies in adult bodies. Some of us didn't grow past 15. And yet we are in our 40s. We're in our 50s. We're in our 30s. And we're still 16 in our hearts. Recently there was this discussion that we are talking about Adam and Eve. They fall from the grace too, right? From eating that tree, from eating that fruit from that tree. And looking at it, like literally Adam slept and then Eve was formed. Eve didn't know the right and the wrong. She was a baby, a toddler in an adult body. So for me, I don't blame Adam and Eve. I don't blame Eve anymore. And then you hear back in the Bible, people are living up to 300 years. So Eve was literally a toddler. Even you can say a Gugu Gaga kind of baby. Because she was just like, she was made from the rib. And in 3 weeks, I think a week later, that's when she ate the fruit. So they were toddlers in adult bodies. They were just children in adult bodies. And we see people every single day. They are our fathers, they are our brothers, they are our sisters, they are our mothers. They're still children in adult bodies. They're stagnant from where they fell. Nobody was there to lift them up. Nobody was there to help them. So my question is, where did you fall? How long were you there? And what do you need to rise up again? Because we all fall, but we don't stay down. We don't stay on the ground. You could have been born from the ground. Yes, we are from the ground, and from the ashes we shall return. But now, in this state of our nature, of our human, how do we repair the ruptures in our life, in our society, in our families, in our home? How do we repair them? So as I said, in my line of work, I always see people who have ruptures. I see them because of certain ruptures in their lives. And my work is to support them, to nurture that space, create a safe environment for them so that they can start rising up again. Sometimes after you have fallen for a very, very long time, you start by taking baby steps. We don't expect you to run. If harm is all you have ever known, we don't expect you to get up and running. No, you start taking baby steps. Recovery can take a journey. Recovery is a journey. Can take a lifetime, can take 5 years, can take a mile to get back to where you are. So now I'm asking, who dropped you? And how long have you been in the falling state? Falling is inevitable sometimes, but how long you choose to fall, that's on to you. As I said, number one, we seek support. There's something wrong with us. How can I reconcile with myself first? The rupture and repair. How do I repair with myself first? With my loved ones around me, with my society and community. How do I repair that? How do I repair a broken bond that was my doing? How do I repair a relationship that was my doing? The rupture because of me. How do I repair a family tie that ruptured because of me? How do I repair with myself, have peace in myself because of a rupture that happened with me? 2 Samuel verse 9, I'm going to read, and it says, David asked, "Is there anyone left of the house of Saul to whom I can show kindness for the sake of Jonathan?" So they called a servant of Saul named Ziba and brought him to David. The king asked him, "Are you Ziba?" He replied, "I am your servant." Then the king asked him, "Is there whom I can show God's favor?" Ziba answering the king, "A son of Jonathan, whose feet are crippled, still lives." The king asked, "Where is he?" And Ziba replied, "He is in the house of Machir, son of Amir, al-Ladba." So the king David sent for him, and he had brought him from the house of Machir, son of Amiel, at Lodeba. So even that name, Lodeba, says Loba. I'll say that anyway. Verse 6. When Meribal, son of Jonathan, son of Saul, arrived, he fell on the ground and paid homage to David, who said, "Meribal." He replied, "I am your servant." David then told him, "Do not be afraid. I will do you a favor for the sake of your father Jonathan, and give you back all the land of Saul your grandfather. Besides, you shall always eat at my table." He bowed down and said, "What is your servant that you should show concern for a dead dog like myself?" Then the king, chapter 9 says, the king called Ziba, Saul's servant, and said to him, "I have returned over to your master's son everything that Saul and his family possessed. You yourself, your sons and servants shall till the land for him and carry in the harvest so that your master's family may have food. Although your master's son Meribel shall always eat at my table. Ziba, who had 15 sons and 20 servants, said to the king, your servant will do whatever my lord the king command. Meribel ate at the royal table like a king's son. Meribel had a young son named Micah, and all who lived in Ziba's house became Meribel's servants. But Meribel lived in Jerusalem, for he always ate at the king's table. He was crippled in both feet. So again, we all need a community. Someone to see us, someone to hear us, someone to notice us, someone to see our potential, someone to lift us up when we have fallen from grace. Are you that person that someone can rely on to lift them up when they have fallen? Am I that person that someone can rely on when they have fallen? This is the homework we have as believers, as Christians, but also as human. Being kind, it doesn't cost anything. Being accountable takes growth. Acknowledging the wrong we have done to others and for others, that is salvation. Because forgiveness, we need to give that. But reconciliation, we need to receive it because we have asked for it. You can't reconcile with someone who doesn't see they have done anything wrong. Someone who can say, I am sorry. Someone who has fallen and they're happy to stand falling, but also they want to fall with as many people as they can. So you go lift somebody up, they drag you down with them. So that's why I said we need to be in a watchful state on whom we invite in our lives, on whom we invite in our environment. Because somebody who has fallen in that rapture state, it's not whom God created them to be. And it's not your purpose, it's not your journey to show that person that they are worthy. They are meant to be loved. They need to be nurtured and they need to be cared for. Those things you need to seek them first as a human being. As much as we like helping people, at what cost does this come? Especially if it's a fault that we orchestrated by not listening, by not following instructions. But it is never late to turn things around and to turn the pages. And my belief and my prayer for you is that you find a king like David in your life, in your circle, who is going to invite you from your fallen state to have a seat at the table where you don't have to worry what you're going to eat. How are they going to look at you? How are they going to perceive you? Can they meet your needs? Can they love you? Can they support you? Can they respect you? Because they see you beyond your brokenness. They see you beyond your lesser than version of yourself, beyond you being in Lodabar. Because at the end of the day, you are still Saul's son, the first king of Israel. You're still Saul's grandson. So no, even if you're crippled, even if people who were supposed to care for you dropped you, didn't support you, didn't nurture you, didn't look after you, you're still the king's son, or you're still the king's grandson. And your identity will never change because somebody chooses not to see you, not to see the value you have, not to see you for who you really are. And my prayer today is that may you find like-minded people. May you find the people you don't have to say, I am so and so and so. May you find people who acknowledges you, who see you from a mile, who are prepared to receive you, and who are worthy of you. Because sometimes when we get our blessings, when we're not prepared, it becomes a burden. Something that's supposed to bless you, it becomes a burden. We all know David wasn't innocent. If David didn't think, who can I give thanks to in the house of Saul? Because Jonathan was his good friend. He could have said, I want to cleanse every single person from Saul's generation. And Meribah could have been one of those people. So let's pray for the kings in our lives to make the right decisions. The decisions that can save lives rather than take lives. And I pray that may all your heart desires come to be fulfilled. And I also pray that may you meet the like-minded people who will raise you, who will support you, who will lift you up from your fallen state. It is in Jesus' name that I do pray that may you receive your heart desires. But most importantly, may God show you who are those people that we need to lift up. We need to support lifting them up. And may God show you the people you need to align with for His glory, for His kingdom to come to pass. So my lovely ones, I'm leaving you in this word that says everything works good. Everything works good for those who believe and trust in God. He makes crooked paths straight. So all I can say, even if you're in that fallen state, and maybe it's because of your own disobedience, it is never too late. God can turn every single thing around. He who has started a good thing in you shall complete it and shall bring it to fruition. So stay blessed, and we'll see you in another episode of Strong and Bold. Bye.